In gymnastics, anyone know what the number one problem is in this industry? Number one problem. Business specific, okay? Nobody's coming here for a movie and they're going like, oh, is this a Blockbuster store? Can I rent a DVD? They're like, no, those are out of business, bro, okay? No one's coming those for that. They're coming to learn skills. Skills, they're coming, it's skill acquisition. That is what the business is offering. That is the problem they are solving for the customer. That's the problem. So I walk in the door and I already have a mindset of a promise that you're going to get me skills. That's the problem you're solving. Everything else is how you're going to do it. Make sense what I'm saying? Kind of on board with what I'm saying? Because we're selling. You went to the new car lot to buy a new car. You go to the used car lot to buy the used car. You come to a gymnastics facility to learn backflips. Not to just be entertained. Entertainment's great. Fun is important. That's how you get people to like you. Okay? But if I want to be entertained, I'll go to Disney World. If I want to learn a backflip, I'll come here. I'm not going to go to Disney World to learn a backflip. Make sense? So at the end of the day, when I stop learning skills, I play soccer. Okay? So you've got to teach skills. That's the problem you're solving. Now, you're trying to optimize opportunity of outcome. That's a lot of O's. Boom. Okay? That's what you're trying to do. You're optimizing the opportunity. You're optimizing their opportunity to learn that backflip. How are you doing it? With words, with repetition, with all the things you just said. You're trying to optimize that experience so that you can get the outcome they're looking for. Okay? You're using directional words. That's what we talked about at the beginning. But mirroring, oh my goodness. Anyone gone to therapy? You don't have to tell me, but I have, okay? Okay, I've gone to therapy multiple times. You can probably tell why. All right. Mirroring is so huge, especially in relationships. You're in a yelling match with your parents. Well, why are they yelling? Well, why are you yelling? Well, why are you yelling? Well, I'm yelling. Ah! We're just mirroring each other. That's it. Mirroring comes through repetition. So the more you can repeat something, the more a person has an opportunity to then mirror. If you do not show up consistently, the class will not consistently mirror you because you show inconsistencies and then they don't know what to mirror. So if sometimes you're dismissive and other times you're attentive, they are not going to be on cue to know what to mirror. And we create mirroring by being consistent with our body language and our words. And if my words are directional and somebody comes up in my class, they're just like, sounds pretty directional to me. So you want to quit? What's your date? When are you quitting? No, I don't want to quit. It sounded like you want to quit. You want to be done. You just want to go home today? No. Well, that didn't sound like you wanted to do the skill. It sounded like you didn't want to do the skill. Well, I'm just frustrated. Frustrated doesn't sound like you want to get better. All the directions of not improving. We're going to nail it until that person's like, fine, you nailed me down. Great. We're frustrated. We don't want to do this right now. We're tired. We didn't get any sleep. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. How do we take this one step forwards? What's the next move? Directional words. If my language is always like that, my students will always expect that type of language. They will start using it. They will start behaving like it. And pretty soon you have a class that will automatically move in the direction you're headed, and you don't even have to drive the story because you're using the language and they're mirroring the direction. Make sense what I'm saying? That's the power of it, okay? And it's being used. Feedback loops. 100% so important because this is what your fight, flight, or fear is. This is what anxiety is. This is what everything is. There's a feedback loop. It's built right into us. So what do you have to do? You have to create a feedback loop in a healthy way that inflicts this small amount of correction, which is like my buzzer sound. It's uncomfortable. You can make things uncomfortable, but you've got to pull them back in immediately. Like, I really like you. It's uncomfortable. I really like you. Because once the person gets embarrassed to no longer participate, you can't have feedback loops anymore. They're not participating. They're no longer mirroring because they're not participating. So if you drive people away, you will no longer be able to use your directional words, your mirroring tactics, or give them feedback loops. They will stop getting better. We don't use corrections. We use validations or redirections. Because a correction is just stating a fact. You should straighten your knees. Doesn't ask if the person knows how. Doesn't ask if they're even aware of their knees. Do you even know where your knees are? No, you just stated something that makes you sound smart. That's not beneficial. You validate. Here's my bent leg. Hey, straighten your knees. Whoop. Oh, they got straighter. Awesome job. Validation. Could you get them straighter? Boop. Oh, they got straighter. Nice. Feedback loop. Oh, great. Do you think you could get them like this? And then you fix it, and you go, oh, wow, that's even better. Oh, and then you're playing validation, validation. Person starts off with their leg like this, and all of a sudden they're like this. Redirection. Your leg went from really beautiful straight, like phenomenally straight, to like, not straight really. Think you go back to the really beautiful straight part? Redirection. Pull them back into the validation conversation. Corrections just make you sound smart. Validate, redirect, directional. Make sense? Okay? That's the power of just the changing of the words. Effort-care ratio drives your direction. Okay? This is what you need to understand. Somebody give me, anyone have something that a future goal they want to accomplish that's pretty lofty and ambitious and they're likely to fail at? Anyone have any goals so far? Like, you're like, I'm going to go to Harvard. You're going to make American Ninja Warrior one day. Okay, so just bear with me because this is how you can predict what a person will actually do. Okay? He's not going to ever make it, by the way. Okay? You don't make an American Ninja Warrior one day. You have a goal. You have what day are you going to make it on? On a Wednesday. They're not competing on Wednesdays. Oh, I guess I didn't make it. Okay? It's got to be more specific. That's fine. So he's not specific enough. So what I would do is I'd say his care is much bigger than his effort right now. And so what we would do is get clarity to get his care to start matching his effort by saying, well, what day would you want it to be on? Now his effort has a containment. So if we said, okay, one day, great, you're now, oh, well, a year. Okay, great, we would narrow it down. Now we'd have to say, well, how much effort is required from where you are today to make that goal in 1 year? Effort required. Now we're going to see if we can hit the care target. If the effort required is greater than my ability to actually get to my care point, okay? So he's like, let's pretend he just learned how to walk, right? And he's like, I'm going to make American Ninja Warrior in 6 months. He's like, you just learned how to walk. It's like, not going to happen. The amount of effort required to hit my target is greater than my potential. I will fail every time. Every single time. So you can have a kid, you just go, what do you want to do today? They're like, backflips. They're like, you don't even know where your hands are and how to stop touching people. You can't even listen to simple language like stand there. You're going to learn a backflip like today? Like, no, that's not going to happen, right? I'm not going to tell the child that because that will defeat them. So you think about where are they starting? They want to learn a backflip. That's a big care. What's the amount of effort they're willing to put in? Not a lot. So we're going to creep it into the direction of their care. But in my head, I'm not buying into the lie that we're going to have to do it today. We're going to probably do it, okay, well, you know, maybe in a couple weeks we'll get closer, we'll check it out. And we'll just keep pushing it on and keep validating on that journey. You're getting closer. Oh, see how you're paying attention now in line and you're doing what I said? That's fantastic. That's what I need to see for us to be able to start spotting the backflip. Oh, okay, we got some movement. You know, see what I'm kind of saying? So those two things are directly related. Mary Beth wanted to learn how to do a front full off the tumble track. This is an ambitious thing to say to somebody because I haven't seen her tumble at all. I know nothing. She's like, how quickly can you teach this to me? It's like, I've seen nothing, okay? So I was like, oh, pretty quick, which is pretty obnoxious of me to say that. And then I look at her tumble, and she went to the harder progressionary step, and I'm already in my head like, okay, I can see what I'm dealing with now. Somebody who's just like, we're going to go for it, and I'm going to take the harder progressionary step and do it. But I'm looking at the effort she's putting in, matching the care that's coming out of her mouth in the story, and I'm going, oh yeah, we can connect these dots. It took a couple tries to figure out where her effort was and what she was caring about when she was in the air, which is survival, most people. And then it put like, well, let's direct her care in the moment to another point, and then all of a sudden the skill worked. It was an effort care problem. It was not a gymnastics problem. She just didn't know where to care and put her effort. Once she did, boom, front full. Wasn't that hard? Where people are going, they're running away from anxiety, right? You're running away from anxiety. No one wants to be anxious. You're chasing what other people think of you, because we all want to fit in with somebody. If we don't, then we should go check that out because we want to fit in. We're humans, okay? And we're worrying where we are, okay? You're worrying where you are. Am I number one? Am I fifth place? Am I liked? Am I hated? Where do I fit in this story? You want to know your position, okay? So what do we really want? We're chasing self-esteem. That's what your anxiety is. Your anxiety is, I don't value myself, I don't understand my value, I don't understand my worth, I don't have confidence to actually handle the future because I don't have a skill set. So because you don't have a skill set that you can use in the future, you have anxiety. So that's what you're chasing. I want to get a skill set. Well, getting a skill set is not distracting people. Getting a skill set is getting better. You get better, you have self-esteem. You get really good, nothing's scary in the future. Like nothing. Because you have the skill set. You want acceptance. Okay? We all want to be accepted. Okay? At some point with some group. You can say, well, I don't want to be accepted by those people. Well, that's fine. But you do want to be accepted by those people. We're chasing it. Those kids want to be accepted by you. If your language is directional and it says, I do not accept you because you do not listen to me, you are not pulling that person in, you're pushing them out. They will leave. That's not the goal of the business. The goal of the business is to make binge watchers from Netflix come here and binge watch Ninja Warrior and Gymnastics, right? So you got to pull them in. So your words matter. They're directional. If everybody's brain wants to make decisions, everybody's brain loves patterns, and everybody's brain loves curiosity or has a novelty effect, and you deliver that as an instructor, chaos is happening, quick, pattern known. Chaos is happening, quick, make a decision. Chaos is happening, quick, let's develop, surprise, curiosity. You do that, boom, brains are like, oh my goodness, free candy, I need it. And the kid's like sucked in, like, I don't know why I'm following the brain. And the brain's like, I need this thing, okay? That's power that you have now to influence people around you because you understand how the brain works. Business 101, can everyone read that on the board? Exactly. Most of you are like, nah, it's really hard. It's small for a reason. You need to exceed expectations. That is business 101. When you exceed expectations, customers come back. Friendships are also that way. Anyone had the honeymoon effect with their friends? Oh, we're buddy-buddy, everything's great first couple weeks, and then after that, you're like, I hate you. Like, yeah, don't talk to me ever again. Great. Because the newness, we're allowed to exceed expectations. Oh, you're always showing up. You're always there for them. Pretty soon you get tired of paying for their meals, and you're like, you're just a leech. Stop it. And I'm poor. I lied the first couple weeks. I didn't have this much money. And then you're like, I can't actually go to the movies every single night, you know? And so then it wears off. In real life, we cannot constantly show up and exceed expectations. That's not a practical relational thing. There's a give and take. But on a business level, as a consumer, you are expecting for the business to exceed your expectations. That's what you're looking for. So your job is to exceed the expectation of the customer. Attention, behavior, care. This is how you hijack the story. You have to get people's attention before you can then influence behavior. The problem with lectures in this situation is our attention is very depleting. We're like, I'm not interested anymore. And so then you have to like spark attention by doing other things to get people to want to pay attention again, right? This is not the best way to learn information. In fact, the way I learned all the information I'm presenting is by owning 2 gyms and training multiple employees and failing miserably over and over and over again. So I felt the pain and struggle, and I'm like, I care a lot about this. But I can't deliver that in a 7-year process. It's not financially productive, right? So you're not going to get this information the way I learned it. So this is a very inefficient way to do things, but you have to decide that do you want to actually help people learn skills at the highest efficiency possible to the point where you master a craft and you're like, I got this figured out. Or do you want to bumble your way through things, get emotionally exhausted, and still struggle and not know how to control your class? You have to decide those stories, you'll feel it, and then you'll be like, what was that thing Raleigh was talking about? I'm tired of losing my class's attention. It's like, yep, so now you care, now you'll come back to it, okay? So you have attention, behavior, care. Attention is not focus. Attention is the willingness to not be distracted. So when you shut out distractions, that is when you are attentive. Which means that wherever you are looking or listening or moving is already telling us what you're attentive to. So when a kid's in class and they're watching somebody else go on the tumble track, you know what they care about because you know where their attention is. You know what their behavior is doing, it's turning towards the tumble track, and you know what they care about because they're looking at something that's more interesting to them than you are. Now you have to compete with the thing, not them. Hey, listen to me. No, compete with the thing. Hey, you want to do front flips, don't you? I do. Cool. If you turn and face me, what we're working on right now is going to get you better for front flips. This is our starting point. You want to get over there? Absolutely. I'm here to help you get over there. But I can't move us on the journey if you're not paying attention. I need your eyes on me. Boom, I'm ready. You're going to get me front flips? I'm ready. Because they already told you. You get what I'm saying? If 2 kids are sitting in line and they're poking each other, anyone ever experienced that kind of stuff? Or people bumping or bothering each other? What are they saying by that body language? What are they saying? But that tells you that those 2 people are striving for significance. You can give them significance. Hey, Joey, come here. I need a demonstrator. Come out here. Okay, good. Okay, do your forward roll. Do you guys ever see how Joey did that? That was phenomenal. I love the energy, Joey. That was great. Cool. High five. Hop back in line. Thanks. Oh, Steven, can you come back out here? I want to see your forward roll. Wow, that was just as good as Joey's. That's fantastic. Oh, one of you want to win? Okay. Well, we could do a winning competition later. You guys want to do a winning competition later? Great. At the end of today, we'll do a competition, and we'll see who's actually the best. And then you send them on the way out the door, and their parents get to deal with it. Right? So you give them what they want, significance, spotlight. You give them what they want, a competition. but you put it on your terms, in your spot, in your position, so that competition can leave, they go separate ways, and they don't have to keep dealing with it. But they can put it in their minds someplace else, and you've created leverage. Hey, if you two keep goofing off in line while I'm talking, remember that competition I said we're doing at the end of the game? We're not going to be able to do it because we're going to run out of time. You understand how time works, right? When we run out of it, we have to leave. Most people are like, oh snap, I wanted the game, right? And social pressure. If I have two people who are constantly causing problems and the rest of the class wants to play the game, what are they going to do? Will you knock it off already? We're not going to play the game. Yeah, I wanted to play the game. Stop it already. Social pressure. They don't fit in anymore. They don't fit in anymore? Oh my goodness. They don't want to not do that. They're going to fit in. They want to fit in, so they will start behaving. These are leveraging directions. Making sense? Everyone kind of tracking what I'm saying? This is the power of this habit. Is I can literally walk into any position and be like, are you chasing ... Then this is the pathway. Bop, 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 bop. And it's just every single time. That's it. It's the same story. Okay? Behavior. So attention. You have three areas in the brain that are attention. It's either habit. If I say your name, you're going to pivot your head. Out of habit, you're going to give your attention. Risk reward. If you do one push-up, I'll give you $100. Yeah, I'd take that. If you do 1,000 push-ups in 1 minute, I'll give you $1. Oh, not worth it. Risk reward. Okay? So risk reward, okay, is another thing that will grab our attention. We'll put our focus on. And pleasure. Do you like chocolate ice cream? I love chocolate ice cream. So I just get home and I just eat it. No one even has to ask me to. I just do it. I just wake up and I'm like, oh, refrigerator, Raleigh, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I love chocolate ice cream. Pleasure. No one even has to ask you. Attention is right on pleasure. Okay? Pleasure is your curiosity, your novelty effect. It makes you feel good. Every kid who comes in, majority of them, hypothesis, this is my theory, but it's, they all pretty much want to learn a backflip. You automatically have a person, if you say, hey, do you want to learn how to flip? And they're like, yeah. That's what they showed up for. Pleasure right there. Do you love flipping? I love flipping. Great. If you pay attention, we'll get to do X, Y, and Z that will lead up into flipping. You got them because you're chasing the pleasure side of their attention mechanism. Behavior. Behavior is not, okay, we often think like behavior as in like if someone is misbehaving. If you think of behavior as in literally how you are taking your information and what you are doing with it, behavior, how you're sitting there, that's your behavior. Your body language, how you're moving, how these blocks are, I mean, she's laying her head on a purple block because the purple block is there. So her behavior is based off of the purple block. So she's actually being influenced by the space around her. That's what behavior dictates. So your peer group, okay, it's really your buy-in, your willingness to buy in is going to dictate your behavior. If I want to buy in because I like somebody, your behavior will show it. No one shows up and constantly eye rolls, Becky, yeah, well, she's really my best friend. Becky, I hate her. That's not matching behavior buy-in. You get what I'm saying? So you can instantly have a group of people and just be like, that person's not bought in. Behavior problems right there, not bought in. How do I get you to buy in? Attention, I need to get their attention. Mirroring, feedback loops. I'll get that attention that I need to. Now I'll get the behavior I need to. I'll get that behavior to mirror me. I'll get feedback loops to get that behavior to mirror me. I'll use directional language. I'll get buy-in. Once that person's bought in, bam, they'll chase the thing I care about. But I have to get buy-in first. That's your peer, okay? Payment, cost, that's your risk reward. What am I willing to, what am I going to get out of it? What's my reward? Everyone wants to get paid to do something. So when I come into a class and it says, I'm going to learn a backflip, and I don't get paid for my effort. I need that backflip to feel like I got paid for my effort. That's the reward. So everyone's looking for payment. That's the risk and reward. No one's going to show up to a class, cut out an hour of their day, and then not actually learn anything, and then quit. I mean, that's not going to work. The risk reward's not there. Measurement we already talked about. It's pleasure. Measurement. What you enjoy, you just pivot what you measure. I don't like your hair. Okay? Well, she doesn't have to like it. But if I like it, I can change what I'm measuring. My position of measurement. I don't care how you're measuring, I care how I'm measuring. I'm positioning it. And so that's measurement. Care, this is the hardest part, and this is the high-level skill stuff. And whoever's sticking around tomorrow, you're going to learn from beginner level all the way to level 10, elite level tumbling, and you'll be able to have the answer for every single thing. You're not going to be able to memorize it, but you would have the answer for every single thing that you're ever going to see. Care, intention, okay, perspective, and hope. Hope is huge. Okay? Hope is like, I hope this guy's going to stop talking someday so I can leave, right? Hope. Hope is so big that they did a study with rats. It's a really sad story. Anyone heard about the study of rats and drowning rats? See how long it took a rat to drown? And they did it took 15 minutes for the rat to drown. of waiting water, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, what happens if we take the rat out right before it dies and dry it off and let it recover and we'll just stick it back in the bucket? That's a cool idea. And we'll see how long it treads water for. 60 hours. Hope. It went from 15 minutes to 60 hours because it had hope. If you destroy the hope of somebody, they will quit. They will give up. They will stop trying. If you give a person hope, they will continue on like a crazy person because they have hope. It has such a powerful thing. So by telling somebody that they're never going to get it, they're not good enough, maybe you should try a different sport, you're destroying their hope. By pivoting the mindset and the awareness to say, hey, let's slow it down so you can understand it, because when you understand it, you will get better. And when you get better, you'll get that skill you wanted. Let's do that. Oh, I have hope now. Okay, let's slow it down so I can understand it, so I can get to the next step. I'm building hope. Let's chase hope. If we can't chase hope because a person is like, I don't want to, life's hard, blah, 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 okay, fine, pivot their perspective. Take a person from one mountaintop, or a valley if they're negative, take them from a valley and stick them on a mountaintop. Take them from a mountaintop, stick them in a valley. Just change their perspective. And instantly they have to look at something differently. The quickest way to change somebody's perspective is your equipment. Someone's like, oh, you know, I could do a front flip on the floor. Really? Well, that's not actually what we're doing. This is the person who's like super, egotistical, has got it all figured out, all the right answers. I could do a front flip on the floor. And you're like, well, actually, I was going to make it harder. You're going to do a front flip up that resi mat. Well, I can't do that. I know. I'm going to change your perspective that you're not actually as good as you think you are. So I'm going to make it even harder than you thought. Because if we were going to do front flips on a bouncy surface, and you're running your mouth saying you could do it on a floor, well, if you think you're really hot stuff, let's make it even harder and see how hot stuff you really are, and then you're going to realize I actually don't know what I'm talking about. Right. Let's go back to the tumble track and actually learn how to do it well on a slower surface that will actually make you better. Then you could do it on the floor and the resi mat and something else. When somebody's learning a back handspring, I'm teaching a back handspring, and that person who's like, if I could only do it, I could join the cheer squad, okay? And they don't want to put in any jump work or anything, right? Those people, you know what I'm talking about? Back handspring people, it's real. Okay, and I have empathy for you. Here's the perspective shift that I make. I never teach a back handspring. Huh? That's what they're thinking. What? I don't teach back handsprings. They're looking at me like, well, then what are we doing? I'm like, exactly. What are we doing? They're like, I have no idea. I thought a back handspring. It's like, no. I give a 3-for-1 deal. If you do a back handspring the way I want you to back handspring, you will also automatically get a back whip, and you will also automatically get a back layout. You get 3 skills if you can back handspring to my standard. When you cannot back handspring to my standard, I don't even care, because you can't back whip and you can't back layout. What do I care about your back handspring? You back handspring to my standard, you can whip and layout in the same day. Think about the perspective shift that all of a sudden happens. People are like, whatever you say, I'll do, because I'm going to get a 3-for-1 deal. Right? You see that? That's a perspective shift. And I can deliver on it. So that's what you need to understand, is you can change people's buy-in points by changing their perspective. And that's, again, chasing what we care about. Intentional effort is getting people to speak what they are doing. And that comes back to the very beginning. We talked about a person going, I don't understand, and then we just told them some things to do. It doesn't tell us where their effort is. It doesn't tell us how hard they're actually trying. And so you need to know where their intention is. Did you mean to put your hand by your foot? No. Right, because it wasn't by your foot. It's actually way over here to the side. Right, good point. Okay, so you didn't even know where your hand was. Right, so there's no intention of where our hand is. You don't even know it's not by your foot. Okay, good. We need to start with intention. How am I going to get this intention? It's a super fast skill. I'm going to slow it down then so I can get the intention. Well, why do I care about the intention? Well, if I don't feedback loop it and celebrate this person and validate them, they're not going to care about it. If peer pressure is not involved, they're not going to care. If there's not some sort of point system involved or reward, they're not going to care. Right? If there's no form of any of those things to make a person want to move their hand from over here to here, they're not going to do it. So what do we usually naturally lean on? Does anyone know what we naturally, as human beings, lean on to get people to do what we want? So going back all the way full circle to the beginning of our story. What do we normally naturally lean on to get people to do what we want? So we naturally lean on somebody's disappointment, right? It usually makes us this awkwardness of no longer knowing how to fight for ourselves. And that shuts us down because somebody's body language, right? So you have a kid who's doing something really awesome. Your natural body language is like, that's awesome, and you move all fast and excited and energetic to them. And then all of a sudden some kid who's like not doing a good job, and you're not excited about the person, you're just excited about the effort, and you're like, well, that's not very good effort, and I've told you 37 times. You're kind of like this, like, I I know I have to come over and help you. The whole class can see that. That person can see that. Every single parent can see that. And everyone not only can see it, we can feel it. You can feel who is the person that everyone is tired of. And the worst thing is they feel it too, but no one's given them the way out. No one's given them the correct directional words to no longer be that person. That's what you have the power to do. You literally can get excited about that person now because you know exactly where to take them. Okay, I get it. Right now, you're chasing this thing, and I need you to chase that thing. Let's slow it down. Let's get some direction here. What are the words inside your head? Where are they taking you? Okay, cool. I can see that they're not going in the direction we're going. Awesome. So let's pivot these words. Let's gain some perspective. Let's do whatever we need to do. Okay, you don't believe in yourself. You've given up. Let's highlight something that you can do really well. Can you just show me something you can do really well? Love it. I love the tension in your body. I love the energy. I love the effort. That's great. Do you feel how that works? Yes? Can you put that effort and energy in this thing over here? Okay, do you see how that got a little bit better? It did, right, because we just took what you did really well and we moved it over here. Now you're moving somebody along the story. It's exciting to work with people who struggle because you're empowered to actually move them. When you have no power and you don't understand how this game works, you're going to fail every single time. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And it's huge. You're life-changing because as a young person, probably remember who were your coaches that you liked and didn't like. Okay? This I'm not going to go through, but basically it just tells you where you're attacking the problem. So like if it's I want somebody's attention, and it's habitual, it's usually a physical thing. People use the word like muscle memory because they don't have good words. Okay? It's really myelin inside your brain, and it just creates an automatic response, which is through reactionary methods, which means that you have to take something that's intentional and make it a reaction. That process of going from intention to reaction is what creates habit. That's a long journey. 3 months, basically minimum. They'll say about a month, but realistic, normal human beings, you're looking at like a 3-month process to take being intentional and making it reactionary. Because we don't want it just reactionary, we want it reactionary at max effort. And you'll learn that later. You want to be able to react at max effort, and that's what puts you at the top. Okay? Behavior, I put your peer group, you're like, well, what's physical about your peer group? It's the buy-in, actually. It's the body language that shows that the person's bought in. And that's the behavior that you're going to see. You're going to see physical, actual buy-in. Through eyes, through body language, through energy, you're going to see it. You're going to feel it. Okay? The care side of it with the physical is the intention. You're going to see what people actually care about physically by how they actually move through their intentions. If the person's intentions do not align with the words coming out of their mouth, they don't understand that. They don't realize that. When you get this power set, you can look at that and go, oh, that's not going to happen. They don't know it, so don't drop that bomb on them. They think that they're going in the right direction. You have to help their intention get to where their care is, or you have to pivot that measurement. Okay? So this tells you where the risk reward is in the mental world, or the payment, or the perspective. Basically, everything starts at the emotional level. It moves through the mental level, and it gets through the physical. Your physicality is how you express the emotion you have inside your head. And the mental is the wires that are connecting everything, the decision process that's connecting everything. It always starts emotionally. So look at it like it's an emotional problem. Then go through the process to take that emotion, change the perspective, okay? Change how you're measuring, whatever you got to do, change that emotional, get it dialed in where you want it, put them on the journey so that the physicality will then match what you're looking for. That's what you're doing on a second-by-second, moment-by-moment basis. A lot of this is built already into the curriculum that I built for you so that the games and other things automatically drive this out of the kids. So while you're learning this, you're like, Raleigh, I'm not going to remember all this and be able to do it. Right. Of course you're not. So that's why I built a curriculum that drives the story. It's important you understand it. Okay? You're locking things in using directional words, mirroring, and feedback loops. That's how you lock it in. And you've got to be repetitive on that. You've got to show up every second. Bam, bam, bam. Yes, 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 yes. Nope, yes, yes, no, yeah, good, love it, not. When you give a person an assignment, just by pointing at people, they will know whether you accept them or not because you're acknowledging their presence. That is fast enough. You don't have to give constant words. You can just be like, loved it, great, see you, fantastic, and they just know that you're watching. Thumbs up is great. So a lot of times you don't even have to use words to get tired. You can be like, how's it? And you're saving energy just by body language, okay? This is the flow state. If your care is proportionate to your effort, you're successful. You're going on the trajectory. If your care is much bigger than your willingness to put in the effort, you will constantly fail and never know why, and you will give up, and you'll say, I was never really good at math. Well, you never actually really tried. Your care was much bigger than your actual input. Okay? If your effort is greater than your care, it's boring. If someone's like, can you just walk over here from there to there? You're like, why? I don't really care. I'm really good at that. It doesn't make sense. It's not interesting. Okay? So if our care is too great and our effort is not there, it's going to increase the difficulty, right? Our effort is directly connected to our ability. And I want you to, again, we're going to watch just me talk this out, because again, when we get into the learning the program, this is the conversation that's going to just constantly be happening. Okay, this story is every single skill in gymnastics, every single part of your process. Win, win, win. Someone tell me what you've ever experienced a coach do to you right out the gate that was instant lose.
Show me the max level of what you can do.
Oh, right. Let's just start out on this hard surface and throw the hardest flip you got. We didn't even warm up. Yeah. The difference between what you're going to do and what other people are going to do is other people are greedy on the timeline. I got to get you the skill because you're going to quit. And you've been here for 6 months. I got to get you that skill. They haven't been building up micro wins. Win, 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 win. You know what you're going to do when you build up micro wins? Confidence. You know what confidence is going to do? Effort. You know what effort's going to do? More micro wins. And then effort's going to do more, and then more micro wins. And then effort's going to do more, and then more micro wins. And you're going to go on this journey of always winning, always pushing the effort to only where you can win, and constantly putting in doubt. Because you're the person inside their brain. You can't walk across the beam. That's ridiculous. It's way too high. This is the low beam, Raleigh. You're too short. It's way high up there. I mean, if you're this tall, it's like relative to, yeah, you can't do it at all. I can totally do it. Nah, I doubt it. You're probably going to fall off like 37 times. Watch me. You know? And then they're going to go. You're playing the game inside their head that naturally is that self-doubt that's saying, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. But you're setting them up for a win. And now you're building confidence so that when that voice pops up inside their head, when it's time to do that back handspring for the first time on the hard floor, they've already practiced telling that voice no. And they've already experienced always winning. So now you get to a position where you can go, look it. Remember all those drills we did? Yeah? You did great at them. You never failed any of them. You hit them right on point every single time, right? Yeah, I did. Is there any drill we ever did that you crashed so bad, messed up so bad, that you were in a danger, risk, or anything? No. Right. Because we won at every single stage of the way. Do you think I would ever let you do something you're going to lose at? No. Right. You got this. Now you can build confidence in the person. But if step 1 was success, step 2 was a crash failure, step 3 was a semi-success. Okay, we got back to success land, now we're back to failure, and now you get to that skill. Where's the predictability? Where's the pattern? The pattern is I can't trust you because we don't actually know how to win. And the pattern is whatever you say to me at this moment could be any of the options, which means I can't have confidence in my skill set. Can you imagine the difference if you as a human being, if you just did micro wins your entire life? And then all of a sudden, where you are today, you'd be like, I got this. I wouldn't have any self-doubt, wouldn't have any anxiety. I would be like at the top, just the way you feel, right? So what I want you to understand, this whole entire thing, is it's micro wins, it's understanding how the brain works, step 1, 2, 3, 4, and realizing you're not going to play outside that game. You cannot re-engineer human beings. So you got to play within the limits of how humans work. A lot of this is built into the games. So when I start showing you the content and the curriculum, the goal is for you to have that aha moment like, I get it now, Raleigh. That's why there's points here. I get it why there's a step here, a step here, a step here. That makes sense now. Win, 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 win. I get why if I got stuck at this point, I would just change the game so that we can still have wins and not have to progress in difficulty, because now I can leverage still winning, which is more important than doing harder skills. Make sense? So that's where all the story is going to come together. But I think we have to pause because the next thing we're going to do essentially is learn how to spot and get physical and move people and chuck them and be like, good luck, hope you live.